this is the largest family in the world. Ziona Chanas is the head of the world's largest family, and it's mind-blowing. His family has a whopping 39 wives, 94 children, 33 grandchildren, and 14 daughters-in-law. But what's even crazier is that they all live in the same to Ziona's bedroom, probably because she's the newest member of the family. Zath Yungi, his oldest wife, takes charge of organizing the other wives to handle the daily household chores, running the compound with incredible precision. The house even has its own school and a big vegetable garden to feed everyone in the family. They use a rotation system so that his wives take turns sharing his bed.
So God created man as an image. In the image of God created he, him. Male and female created he, them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
Brothers, can you see why we're going to have more than one woman? That's right. To satisfy our voracious sexual appetite. Do you know the lion in the jungle can mate up to, 50 times a day? Yeah. 50 times a day, man. Now, is not the symbol of Israel the lion? That's right. So there's going to be a whole lot of sex to the kingdom, all right? A whole lot of yelling and yelping in the kingdom. Yelping of pleasure. That's what it was all about at the beginning. The Lord said, be ye fruitful and multiply. How do you become fruitful and multiply? Sex. Knocking shit off. Knocking boots. Knocking the boots. Going in on them. Going in. Balls deep. So, hey, that's going in unto. And imagine, that's going to be some actual good pussy. Or new pussy. Or like it's a pussy that we ain't never even had. Or like nobody else had. And nobody else. That's right. Nobody else. It's like having a brand new car. Yeah. You know, with that new car smell. Yeah. This must be like this. Ohio plans. And like the Italians say, we're gonna give them the sausage. Yep. All deep. Yes, right. Good clean girl. That's all part of us enjoying the kingdom, man. That's right. That's all part of the blessing that we're gonna get, brothers. Hey, the scripture say the Most High said that on his right hand are pleasures evermore. All right. You know, so you think about that. Think about it.
So God created man as an image. In the image of God created he, him. Male and female created he, them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers, and peace and blessings, salutations to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. All right. And what I want to get into today is a failing world. All right, a failing world. You know, under the rulership of Esau Edom, what we're seeing, all right, is a failing world. All right. All right. Esau runs the earth, you know, was a slum lord. Matter of fact, let's look up that definition. Okay, because this devil, all right, and his wickedness, he runs the planet Earth like a slumlord. Okay, and under this man's rulership, okay, we've seen the Earth, society, all right, the human existence, all right, go to shit. Okay, this man has done a terrible job running the Earth. Okay, but in his wickedness and his deception, he's fooled the world as if he, all right, is making progress like never before. Okay, because here it is, this man has all this technology, he has access, to all this wealth. Okay, and he can do all these things, but when it comes to running the earth in righteousness, all right, he ain't got it, man. Okay, now let's go here to this word slumlord. All right, it says a slumlord is a derogatory term for a landlord who prioritizes, all right, prioritizes, it's like profit over the well-being of their tenants and the upkeep of their property, often resulting in substandard living conditions. They neglect repairs, ignore tenants' concerns, all right, and may charge exorbitant rents. And this how Esau runs the earth as a slumlord, man. Okay, let's read the definition again. A slumlord is a derogatory term for a landlord who prioritizes, all right, profit over the well-being of their tenants. Okay, and this devil does this in every way. Okay, here it is. This man would rather sell you poison for a profit. All right, so the food poisons you, and then it sends you to another industry. All right, the pharmaceutical industry. Okay, to where they prophesied off your sickness, man. Okay, this man is a slumlord. Okay, he puts a profit, okay, over people, and this is how this man runs the earth. Okay, and it says the well-being of their tenants and the upkeep of their property. And what's the property? The planet Earth, man. Okay, and the upkeep of the planet Earth is terrible, man. Pollution is ridiculous, man. Okay, nuclear waste in the oceans. All right, most natural drinking water sources in America are undrinkable. The water is undrinkable, man. Okay, the air quality. You see, but he'll put some new condos, okay, on sick earth. Okay, it says often resulting in substandard living conditions. They neglect repairs, ignore tenants' concerns, and may charge exorbitant rents, man. And this how this devil runs the earth as a slumlord, man. I believe you had was it 6 million people couldn't afford a mortgage this month. Let's see, 6 million people could afford mortgage. Let's see. Yeah, so you got videos. All right. Let me share the screen real quick. This man has made earth unaffordable, man. Here it is, the earth, gives abundance. All right, naturally. But this man has made the planet Earth unaffordable. Okay. All right, and what we're seeing is a failing earth, man. All right, so you got these videos, 6.1 million can't pay their mortgages. That was 3 weeks ago. Yep, it's got 3 videos on the same theme. Over 10 million people can't pay housing mortgage. All right, over 6 million Americans are late on their mortgage payments. Let's see what this video talking about. This play a little bit. We just rolling the spirit.
Turn your pastime into your full time.
Hey, have you seen this? It's all over the internet showing that 6.1 million Americans are currently behind on their mortgage, and that a crash like 2008 is happening all over again. But it's a straight up lie. And in this video, I want to uncover the actual truth behind what's actually happening. But first, for those of you guys that may not know me, my name is Daniel Kwok, and my brother Sam and I have helped thousands of people across the country pay off their mortgage faster while saving massive amounts of money in interest in the process. Now, this photo has gone extremely viral with a lot of influencers.
Yeah. And he probably finna scam your ass. All right, sound like this is set up for a scam. You know, but at the end of the day, and that's another thing, man. It's a scam everywhere. You know, like everything's a scam. You find when you living in America, man. You know, you find yourself trying to comb through the scam more than just enjoying the day. You know, you're always, highly defensive, and you have to be on your P's and Q's every second, which can cause anxiety. Okay, that's another thing, man. The earth is full of scam artists because Esau, Edom, all right, from the top, which is Amalek, on down, they're scam artists, man. You know, so let's get a few precepts, and then I got a video I want to play. All right, but this man, all right, runs the earth, okay, like a slumlord, man. I might change the title of the lesson. All right. This is the book of Isaiah, okay, chapter 24. All right, in verse 10, it says, "The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in." Now, I want the city of confusion, which is America. All right, let's go here to confusion. Then I want to get that word broken down. Okay, so the city of confusion. All right, because this man has created a society of confusion. But see, whenever you're lying and whenever you're running something based off deception and lies, and whenever you operate outside the laws and statutes of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, okay, eventually every society comes to a point of decay. You see, the laws, statutes, and commandments was meant to maintain the earth forever. When you go into the law, statutes, and commandments, the wisdom of the Most High is the only wisdom that can maintain the earth, all right, and righteousness forever. When someone starts to operate outside that, okay, what happens is decay and corruption comes in, okay, because if you miss the mark a little bit and you keep missing that mark, all right, well, one day you're gonna look up and you're way away from the from the mark. Okay, if you had a straight line, all right, but if you all right went off that straight line just 2 degrees, okay, well, the further you get, all right, on down the road, the further you're going to get away from that straight line, which is the standard. And that's what we see, all right, with Esau's Edom rulership, as he strayed away, okay, from true wisdom. Okay, as the earth has strayed away from true wisdom, now we in the place, all right, of complete decay, and we're seeing the earth being ran in complete decay. Esau has ran the earth to the ground, man. Okay, to basic things are hard now. Okay, this man claiming himself to be so wise and so smart and so great. Now basic things have become wise. Have become hard. All right, basic human functioning and living and essentials have become all right hard under this devil's rulership, man. Okay, so let's get this word confusion, which is in the Hebrew, is with this taha, all right, taha, which when you go into it, it says formlessness, confusion, unreality, okay, unreality, emptiness, okay, nothingness, okay, that which is empty or unreal of idols, all right, and we know that this society is based off idolatry, man, idol worship, paganism, okay, and people don't understand, all right, the idols that they worship, okay, but this culture is based off of idolatry, man. Okay, and paganism, which is emptiness, is unreality, man. Okay, and this is why we're seeing it failing. And you go here, okay, back to let's get that word broken down. Okay, broken down. All right, which is shabar in the Hebrew, and it goes to break in pieces. Okay, to break in or down, to rend violently. Okay, and this is what we're seeing. The Lord is breaking in pieces this society, man. It's starting to fragment. It says to be broken, to be crushed, to shatter. Okay, and this is what we're seeing happening to this society. Is being broken, it's being fragmented, it's falling apart. Okay, it's imploding on itself, man. Okay, because it's built on wickedness. It's not built on true wisdom. Okay, as the scriptures say in let's get this in Psalm, I believe it's 127. All right, this is Psalms 127. It's the book of Psalms 127 and verse. All right, 1. Yep, it says, "Except the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Al Shah, build a house, they labor in vain that built it." Okay, so all this building that Esau has done, okay, all these policies he's implemented in society, the democracy, and and the religion and these pagan holidays and all this building that this devil has done, it's in vain. And that's why I say they should build, but the Lord is going to throw down. All right, and we're seeing the Lord throwing this place down now, and raising up the prophets plays a major part in the Lord shattering this place, man. Okay, breaking this place to pieces. It says, "Except the Lord Yahweh Bashem Al Shah keep the city, the watchman waketh, but in vain." Okay, and the Lord's not going to keep, okay, America, man. All right, America is slated for destruction. All right, it has an appointment to be turned to a desert, man. All right, and it ain't no reversing it. Okay, so everything that the house of Edom has built, okay, with his wealth, his influence, okay, his deception, it's all going to be thrown down, and it's all in vanity, man. Okay, and Earth can't keep functioning like this under Esau because it only gets worse. Each generation get worse, man. Okay, the people are degenerating into pure animals, man. Okay, worse than animals, as the scriptures say, man. You see the way people behavior, the way they act, okay, their reasoning, it's becoming worse than actual animals, man. Okay, so this man has the earth in the state of degeneracy, man. Okay, and it's not working. You see, so when you go, let's get this. Want to get this clip from Redacted. Okay. Um, yeah. So let's play this, and we'll get some more precept. I want to play this, because they call it the birth gap, okay, to where children are not being born, all right, quick enough to, all right, replenish the population. And this is under Esau's rulership, and this is what this devil wants, man. Okay, everything that this devil puts in the earth is some form, of birth control. Okay, whether it's through the food, all right, through the juice, okay, through the culture, through surgery, everything that this man puts in the earth, it goes back to this man trying to control, all right, the population, okay, which he's going, all right, he's going outside his jurisdiction as a ruler to try to control population, man. All right, that's to the Most High, but this devil, he has an earth to where he wants to. Here it is. He has this huge earth, but able for him to rule the earth to his liking. He wants to destroy populations, man. That's why he has the Georgia Guidestones, where you have the population going from 7 billion to 500 million. Okay, so this devil, you see, he wants to run population at the bare minimum, man. Okay, so let's play this. All right, it's about 10 minutes. All right, so we'll play this.
All right, we're going to talk about the declining birth rate in the United States, but everywhere, really, every country has this happening. Elon Musk has been on this one for a long time, and you might think, so what? I'm alive. I'm going to be living my life, and there'll be enough people for me to live a life, right? Who says to this? I don't care. But what about the world we leave our children? What about the economy as a result of a declining population? Well, here's what Elon Musk says about this. He says that humanity is dying.
Well, there's a lot of things that I suppose that I worry about, but you know, the birth rate is very low in almost every country, and it's something unless that changes, I believe that was last year. Places like Korea, the birth rate is 1/3 replacement rate. So that means in 3 generations, Korea will be throwing that around.
And then this devil, he acts like he's not the problem. Musk, which he's a do boy for the elites, but this devil act like he's not the problem. He's explaining it to you. All right, he's explaining to you that the birth rates going into the numbers and the percentages. Well, nigga, you're the problem. You and your people are the problem. That's why it's like this. Okay, you're the problem. You see, you push the culture, all right, of do as thou wilt. You push alphabet. See, this is the results of alphabet community of abortions, I don't need no man. See, this is all this coming home to roost. Everything that this man has pushed to society as a culture now is failing. Now, all right, they want to talk about the numbers, but nigga, you're the problem. Okay, you're the problem of the earth. This is under your rulership. Okay, this is one thing about these devils. They get to take credit for all the achievements of society, but the failures of society is a mystery, or they blame it on Jake some type of way. Okay, or the Arabs. He won't take the credit for all the achievements of the society, but then when it comes to the failures under his rulership, then everybody got to come to the table and figure this out, man. No, nigga, you are the problem. Okay, your rulership is the problem of the earth, man. That's why a nigga that say Esau can be saved, he don't know what's going on, man. He doesn't even deserve a conversation. But niggas say Esau can be saved, okay, or someone is vouching for the so-called white man in 2025, that nigga don't even deserve a response, man, at this point. So let's just play some more.
All right. Well, the New York Times now is reporting that the Trump administration may be looking into incentivizing every American mother after delivery. We have seen incentives like this actually work in Eastern countries before. For example, in China, some places are offering couples money to marry earlier in order to incentivize them to start their family. Russia offers mothers sizable cash payments if birthing mothers are younger than 27, with which they can use this money to buy a home, for childcare, for medical expenses. In Hungary, birthing mothers under 30 are exempt from personal income tax for the rest of their lives. So those things have, in fact, resulted in a bump in the birth rate. So is this something that the U.S. would want to do? Would it work? And do we need it? Well, Toria Brooke is a cultural commentator and is vocal about the birth rate crisis. I apologize. And she joins us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I think this issue is more than just about relationships. Look at our economy right now. We're trying to rebuild after Biden. The inflation rate has gone down since February. So we're at 2.4% versus March's 2.8%. But ultimately, families are turning towards farm source materials because farm source materials, food, any resources they can get because the grocery stores aren't cutting it. I think we need to tackle the economic implications as a whole before just targeting families. I mean, look at the hurricane victims in North Carolina and the fire victims in Maui. We haven't even really tackled that. I think that all Americans are struggling right now. And at the end of the day, single income households are not working. Our national debt is at 36.22 trillion. It is one of the highest that we've ever had. So in order to encourage people to have more children, it's more than a $5,000 incentive. We need to focus on getting the nuclear family back together, lowering our debt, and encouraging families to even exist at all.
So now they want to go back to the nuclear family, okay, which is a core principle of the Bible. Okay, now they want to go back to the nuclear family. If a brother can put that within 1 Corinthians 11:2, you know, their order, okay, of man and woman. All right, so now they want to go back to the nuclear family. Okay, but here it is. This man, through his music, through his media, has pushed, you know, Miss Independent. I don't need no man. You know, Black Girl Magic and all this madness, man. You know, the modern woman is this superhero, and you know, Wonder Woman. They push all this madness, and now it's failing. Okay, and see, this is the spirit that Esau was in. See, Esau didn't give a damn about the next generation. All Esau cared about was the right now, when he sold their birthright. And that's the spirit of the people in the earth. People are just worried about right now. They don't give a damn about the next generation or on down the line. And that was a major difference between Jacob and Esau as well, is that Jacob, all right, had to care, you know, for his lineage, man, his descendants. Okay, you look at our forefathers, you know, even some of our foremothers, they had to care for their descendants, what was next down the line. Okay, but Esau didn't give a damn. All right, that's why he sold the birthright. Matter of fact, let's get that, and we'll go back to the video and the precepts the brothers got. But let's get this real quick. This is spirit that runs the earth. Okay, this is the energy that's of the earth. All right, because as a matter of fact, let me get what the brother got, then we'll get that. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 10. All right. And verse 1 is from the brother Yahweh, the hopeful elect 3. It says, a wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Okay. And this is what we don't see with Esau either, is a well-ordered government. Okay. He's all over the place. This government is the tackiest government to run the earth, man. Okay. People are more confused than ever since the earth was, man, under this man's rulership. Okay. So we're witnessing poor, all right, rulership and the consequences of it, man. Everything is coming home to roost now. All right. The earth is being ran by a slumlord. Sirach 10:2. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. And we're going to go into the manner of man, all right, that Esau will. Let's get this in Genesis, and we'll read that in Sirach 10:3. So what manner of man is Esau? Okay. And it says in Genesis 25:29, and Jacob sighed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. Now listen to Esau's response. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? And what profit shall this birthright do to me? Okay, so Esau was thinking in the moment. All right, the people of today, this is the manner of man that runs the earth. He thinks about the moment. Okay, he thinks about the profit he can have now. He doesn't think about the back end. All right, even the scriptures say when he had us in captivity, he didn't think about the latter end. Okay, he just, he showed no mercy, no remorse. He didn't think about the latter end. That's the type of manner of person that runs the earth, and that's the spirit that's in the earth, man. You know, people, run red lights. They drive crazy in traffic. Okay, they hate to wait for anything. This is the people. This is a very impatient right now society, man. They don't give a damn. People don't give a damn about the person beside them. You think they care about people that don't exist yet? Okay. But our forefather Jacob did. Our forefathers did. They always thought about the generation to come. Okay, our forefathers that was in the spirit, but this devil ain't built like that, man. Okay, his mindset is the right now, and that's why people live their lives just for them. Okay, and them only. And now we're seeing, all right, the effects of this, man. Okay, the birth gap, which most of that birth gap is due to Esau. All right, is affecting Esau. All right, because 2/3 popping out all over the goddamn place. Okay, but overall, the earth, you know, birth gap is increasing because of this nigga, man. Overall, all right, and mainly him, because we're at the end of this man. Okay, all the Edomites are almost here. That's here for judgment, man. We're at the end of this man. Okay, so this was Esau's mindset, and Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die, and what shall this birthright do to me?" And Jacob said, "Swear to me this day," and he swore to him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Okay, put emphasis on that. All right, then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. Okay, this devil despised his birthright. You see, he didn't have a care for it. Just like people don't give a damn, okay, about the next generation, man. Okay, they don't even care about. Most of them don't even care about the children, all right, that they have now. Okay, let alone a generation that they don't see. Okay, so you go here. Go back to the video, and then we'll get a couple of the comment board. And this nigga here might be a man. All right, Toria Brooke. All right, and see, and that's a problem. All right, transformers is a thing here. Okay, men destroying their ability to reproduce. Okay, that's a thing here. That's a major problem, man. And why is this a thing? Because of the unwise king. Sirach 10:3. And the unwise king destroyed his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited, man. So an unwise king destroyed his people. Okay, and this is what we're seeing this devil do real time. He's destroying the people. The type of person that this society produces is trash, man. Okay, the type of all right, the quality person, okay, that this society produces is pure trash, man. And America got the worst. America produces the worst person on earth, man. Okay, and it's under this unwise king. You see, so this man sets people up from failure from birth to death. All right, you're set up for failure. You come out getting the juice. Okay, then he put you on the infamil. Okay, you know, you first, even before then, if your mother has you, you know, she's listening to trash music. All right, still dealing with different men. Okay, all right, so you come through that filth, then you get juice soon as you're born. You get shot up, then you get put on the infamil, then you go to public schooling. Okay, then you're exposed to a degenerate culture. Okay, all right, you're not taught any damn thing, any skills that you really need. Okay, as a man or a woman. All right, and then you're thrust out into society to get in debt. Okay, you know, the terrible diet. All right, and then you out of here, man. Okay, and that's pretty much the American experience, man. Okay, chemicals, poison, all right, indoctrination, debt, and death, and that's pretty much the American experience, man. But you get to, get your rocks off. You see, you get access to drugs, party, and kick it in between, and people are cool with it. All right, but the Lord, this is what the Lord eventually going to do. Sirach 10:4. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable, man. And that's going to be Yahweh Shai. And Lord will widows, joint heirs that's going to aid Yahweh Shai, man. Okay. Now, you go here to the book of First Corinthians, because they were talking about the nuclear family. Well, who destroyed that, man? Okay. Who brought the feminist movement about? Okay. Who brought black exploitation movies about? Okay, that destroyed family structure, man. Who introduced crack in the neighborhoods, man? Chemical warfare that destroyed families, man. Okay, who did that? Okay, who puts things in the food that destroys reproductive, all right, organs, man. Okay, so nah, this nigga's the problem. And then he's like, well, we'll give you 5,000, nigga. You're the problem. Okay. No one would need your handouts, all right, if this was a righteous rulership. If this was a halfway righteous rulership, no one would need your handouts, man, or help reproducing. Okay? That's simple. See, these are the simple functions of life, and this devil has made these things complicated, man, through his rulership. All right? 1 Corinthians 11:2, it says, now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. All right, verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Yahweh Shai, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is the Most High. So they talk about the nuclear family. Well, the Bible, all right, is pro-family. Even in this whole thing with the protocol for grape, there was a pro-family protocol. Okay, so if a man did that and a woman was unbetrothed, okay, guess what? That's another family. That's another nuclear family in Israel that's gonna be under this order. All right, the Most High, Yahweh Shai, the Israelite man, and then the Israelite woman. Okay, so the Bible promotes, all right, the nuclear family, pro-family, man. Okay, it's the devil that has ruined it. Okay, and now everybody got to have a discussion about what to do next, man. Well, we're gonna get rid of your ass, man. That's what to do next, man. You're going to be removed from power, go into captivity, and then exterminated from the earth, man. That's what we're going to do next. Okay? According to the scriptures, man, thus said the Lord. So let's play this.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And we had the massive recessions and economic downturns. I mean, you saw Japan, right? They've never really recovered from it. Russia, after the fall of the Soviet Union, was devastating, right? So Russia put in these financial incentives to really help its people in that way. But I think you're right. America is hit with a double whammy. So we have what the liberals have done over the last 20, 25 years in the United States, have basically told people don't have children. You don't need to be married. Guess what? Having kids is actually kind of a bad thing. It's hurting the environment. You can't afford it. And then they also lumped on top of it a massively devastating economy. So I think America may be in worse shape than Japan. What do you think?
I think right now, especially with relationships, social media took a huge hit on communication and the way that men and women interact. And there's just been this whole feminist wave that really encouraged women to think that men weren't useful to them and they weren't helpful. And at the end of the day, we both need each other. That's how we coexist. So men are providers and protectors, and women are supposed to be, caretakers at home. And some choose to have careers. But I think that women would be more encouraged to seek relations with men if it was more suggested as a society, yes, this is something that you guys should be striving towards. And God created man and woman to be together. And that truly needs to be resolved, including in the church, which has been really money hungry, which is interesting because really there should be more giving back considering the economic state that we're in.
But this is an anti-feminist message. Telling women, another thing the Times reports is that the Trump administration wants to, quote, educate women on their menstrual cycles, to which I'm sure AOC fainted at the very mention of it, in part so they can better understand when they're ovulating and able to conceive. This is something women are not taught in sex education in public school. They're only taught to put a sticky pad on your underwear and then off you go, right? And then where to get some birth control. They're not actually taught how you reproduce, how you may want to be in control of that. And so people who want to talk like this are put on the back foot because we're called anti-feminists, because we want to talk about the fact that our bodies were built to do this and that it might be good for society, right? How do you feel about that?
Well, I think sex education in the education system should be reformed because let's face it, men would actually be a lot more successful in their relationships if they understood that, and women have 4 cycles throughout the month. So believe it or not, there is a week out of the month where a woman will be hotter than the other 3 weeks. So if men understood this, maybe they would be able to be more communicative in their relationship. So yeah, if school is teaching better economic, information of how to manage your finances and your taxes and sex education that wasn't just about not getting pregnant, we'd probably be in a way better place as a society educating our youth.
Right. No, sex education is mostly about avoiding sex. No, they want you to have the sex. They don't want you to have the resulting baby. That is the purpose.
Yeah, they'll
of
teach
it.
you in nursery school now how to have sex, and put books in the children's libraries about it, and all sorts of weird perversions and stuff like that. But they don't want you to actually have a family. That's been the liberal agenda for the last 30 years.
Yeah, and it's really a shame. And I think that people are starting to realize this, though. You see a lot of movements, especially on Instagram, for holistic health, getting back into the home. And I think that's encouraged. And even today on the food front, RFK just announced that the harmful food dyes are going to be banned effective at 4 p.m. Eastern today. So pretty exciting. I know people have been really anxious to see more change in the food system. Fluorides also being banned, but all these things affect fertility, right? So I had this conversation a couple months ago on OAN with Ivory Hecker and Rachel Wilson, and we were discussing the things that affect fertility. And now we're being a lot more educated that it's not just about age, right? It's about the things that we're consuming in our bodies. And I think that needs to be more of a priority in teaching people how to have families.
Yeah.
Men's fertility has plummeted also. I mean, you're talking about the women's side, but it's like it takes 2 to tango, and the men are suffering massively from whatever's causing this massive fertility drop in men. Do you think $5,000, this plan that's being floated, Trump actually work? Do you think it would encourage people if they still can't?
I think the idea is a start, but I think that it's going to take a lot more than $5,000 as an incentive to get people to have kids, right? Because in order to have children, you have to have a relationship. So I don't know if $5,000 would incentivize a man or a woman to say, hey, I'm going to lock down and let's have kids. But I think after we can push the messaging that, hey, we were put on this earth to procreate, have families, and better this world. That's what we have to keep promoting, and it takes positive people.
So just like we said, all right, just like we said, this devil put all these things in the food, that destroys, your reproductive organs. Everything is an attack on testosterone. Everything. Drinking out of plastic bottles, fluoride. They said touching receipts, from the store, lowers testosterone, man. Certain fabrics that we wear lowers testosterone, man. Like everything lowers testosterone, man, or makes a woman, more infertile. All right. So this is a society. Here it is. This man does all this wickedness, and then he jumps up like he's so concerned about the birth rate. No, this nigga wants the birth rate to be low and the death rate to be high. All right. This is an ass backwards. All right. Rulership, man. Okay. Just like the brother put up. The brother got a few of them. Where it go? Let's go here. This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 1. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. So these devils, here it is, they have the authority, all right, to destroy people. All right, but then jump on camera as if like they're for the people, man. And this is the witchcraft, all right, and the left hand wickedness that is how this man runs the earth. Okay, this man intentionally destroys people, okay, but on the flip side, acts like he's so concerned with people. No, these devils have the authority, okay, to reverse a lot of this madness that's in the earth. Okay, but all they do is forward it, man. Okay, and this is why this man is going to be removed from power. Okay, immediately, man. All right, the downfall of America and the end of Esau's rulership is going to be quick. Okay, it says, surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. Okay, all right. Now, how is it going to be esteemed as a potter's clay? Because if a potter made something that, he didn't like, all right, well, he would just shatter it, all right, and start all over again. Okay, and this is what Esau has done. He has fashioned a world that's not to the liking of Yahweh Bashem Al Shai. And the Lord is just going to shatter this place, man. All right. And he's going to plant New Jerusalem in the earth as the rulers, man, under Yahweh Shai. Okay. It says, for shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not, or shall the thing framed say, all right, of him, all right, that framed it, he have no understanding. Okay, Esau rules the earth as if the Most High didn't have any understanding. Because there's already things set up from the beginning that just had to be managed. Like the way that the earth was made, all right, from the beginning, it just needed to be managed. That's why the Lord just made Adam the keeper of the garden. He was just supposed to protect what was already there. Okay? Because when you go to it, we'll come back and get that. We'll end it there. But when you go to this, all right, Genesis, I believe it's chapter 2. Okay, so when everything was created, all right, the Lord assigned Adam, all right, first you go here, Genesis 2:7 says, and the Lord power formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. All right, and man became a living soul. All right, and this was Adam. Okay, so the breath of life is the wisdom. All right, the law, statutes, the commandments, and the wisdom from on high. All right, of how to rule the earth. Okay, and it was given to Adam because Adam would be given what? All right, verse 15. And the Lord took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. Now you go here. All right, to this word to keep. All right, because everything was created. So basically, when the wisdom of the Lord, all right, was in effect. Okay, so you go into the word in the Hebrew, which is shamar. All right, and what does it do? It says to keep, to guard, to observe, to give heed, to keep charge. All right, to keep watch, ward, protect, to save life. Okay, so the wisdom, all right, that it was given to Adam was meant to protect and save life, to keep guard, because the Lord set up everything from the beginning through Yahweh Shai and the angels. Everything was created, all right, and it was good. Okay, the scriptures say it was good, which is tawab in the Hebrew, which goes into pleasurable, agreeable, agreeable to men. Okay, so the earth was set up, okay, to where things already had, all right, everything was created to coexist with each other. It just has to be managed. It has to be watched over to be, you see? And Adam was given their charge, but he fell away, all right, fooling with the serpent and Eve, black ass, man. Okay, so I want to see this word dress go into. And this devil, he's ruined this. He ruined it as the serpent. Okay, he ruined paradise as Cain. Okay, with violence. The serpent with witchcraft. And I'm telling what type of freakiness, they was on. All right. It says to dress which abide, which I think this means to serve, to work. All right, to serve. And it says to serve with Levitical service, showing you that Adam was a high priest as well. Okay, but and who was he? A servant to the Lord in righteousness, man, and ruling the earth in righteousness and protecting life. All right, through good management. All right, of the earth. You see, but Esau is the exact opposite. He's meant to destroy. The scriptures say it was given to him to take peace. Okay, from the earth, man. All right, and that's why we're gonna end with this one. The brother got it. Where you go? Yeah, with these two. All right. This is the brother Yahweh, the hopeful elect 3. It says, the physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die. He today, all right. And that's Esau Edom. He's the disease. That's going to be cut off, and the physician is Yahweh Shai. Okay? So we're finna see the physician Yahweh Shai cut off the disease of the earth, which is Esau Edom. The earth is in a decaying state because there's a disease in rulership. Okay, like I said, if you a nigga talking about Esau can be saved, all right, or you just a random nigga trying to, vouch for the so-called white man, you don't deserve a response at this point. All right, you just sit your dumb ass here, all right, and wait till Jacob's trouble, and the Lord gonna give you niggas over to Esau, man. All right, all you pro-Edomite Israelites, all right, the Lord gonna give you over to that nigga, and he's gonna show you why he's hated. Why the Lord gonna show you why he hates this nigga, man. Okay, so let's go. Let's end it here. This is the book of Revelation 11 and 18. It says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time, all right, of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldst give reward unto thy servants, all right, the prophets, okay, and let's see the rest of it on here. Oh, and let you post the rest of it. I'll go get it real quick. No big. I want to end on that. Yeah, so let's get this Revelation 11:18. Get the rest of it. We can end on that. Revelation. All right, so let's go here, Revelation 11:18, and it says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come. And see, the earth is in the uproar, man. Because this is a tacky system, man. All these governments of the earth, are trying to run the earth based off, the ideology of the devil, man. And it's tacky as hell, man. Okay, like I say, their population is decreasing, the economy is trash. Okay, earth is polluted. It's constant war. Okay. And the nations are angry, man. Okay. In the time of the dead, that they should be judged, these other nations, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear thy name, small and great, man. So from, first fruits to 144,000 to the rest of the elect. Okay, Lord, will we endure, man? We're finna come to a reward, man. We're going to be rewarded, all right, from on high, man. The Lord's going to honor us, man. Okay, the biggest honor we can have to be honored by Yahweh Bashim Shai, man. A chance to be a joint heir with Yahweh Shai and righteousness, man. Okay, to enjoy family, to be fruitful and multiply with no stress, with no worries, man. Okay, the righteous reset, all right. So we'll have nothing but rewards to look forward to in righteousness, man. All right. But for this devil, it says, and shouldest destroy them which destroy the earth, man. And that's Esau Edom. Okay. This man is the problem. There's a cancer in rulership. Okay. There's a disease. Okay. That's in rulership, man. That's why the earth is at a dis-ease on this man's rulership, man. It's only getting worse. And the scriptures say no flesh will be saved. All right. If this man wasn't cut off, come on, bro. I know it be tripping with the precepts sometimes. It's all good, brother. So yeah, have to wild to you, brothers. All right, and you sisters that tuned in, Lord will, you will edify to next time. Shalom, Kwame Yasha Allah, Abba, soon. Shalom.